I like Dan Dibley, and I like Mark Willard.
I appreciate you both. Yeah. And I love you earlier, Bonte, when you were like egging him on. Flex on him, Joe. Flex on him, Butcher.
I don't
So
even
we do.
What was I doing?
You were stretching out on a caller, I think. I came in a little bit late. I was on the phone, and then I heard Bonte was like cheering you on because you were going on and on about how much you know football and how much they don't know football. And Bonte is like, you flex on him.
I
Flex
was
on
getting my
him.
Don King on. That's
No,
all.
it was really good. You totally hyped him up, and I was just cracking up because I love when you two are like on the same team, pulling the same rope.
You don't like
Sometimes-
You know
argue.
what it was? I remember what it was now.
Talk to me.
It was Steiny talking about touches on the Niners and how guys are going to get worried. Jeff Wilson Jr., the four-string back, is worried about his touches. Come on.
It's more, to me, it's more of a Brandon Ayuk thing because we know that in the past he has, I don't know if he's grumbled, but there's been a sense of he doesn't get the ball enough. And even last week where he's open and Jimmy G, of course, and good morning, Mark. Of course, he doesn't find him.
I was watching Joe Montana doc last night because it was on NFL Network going back and forth after the Niner Chief game, which was on replay, by the way, on the NFL Network in between the Warriors.
No thanks.
The greatest player of all time at wide receiver who has more catches than anyone, 1,500 catches, 22,000 yards, every single time coming back to the huddle. I was hoping.
Yeah.
I need more
And he
touches.
was, by the way.
That is literally what every wide receiver in the league says.
Wide receivers, there's a reason we call them diva receivers.
Yeah.
And so, sure, I think wide receivers are often built that way, but there's also a different sort of vibe with a football team. Football players, you can't, in a locker room like that, you cannot complain to anyone other than your mom if the team wins.
Yes.
So there is no chirping about the ball if your team won. There are people on this football team, half of people who play football, who start on football teams, are big old fat dudes who never get any attention, who never get the ball, who never get any flowers, they never get anything. So if you go into a locker room and complain after a win, you are going to be out of the fraternity real fast.
Agreed.
It's different in the NBA. Basketball is different. We got a 1, we got a 2, we got a 3. Like everybody's got a number next to them. So
and they're all looking up at the Jumbotron the whole game.
Yeah, just go beat the Rams. If you beat the Rams, you're not going to hear a damn thing about who got the ball.
Agreed.
You're not going to hear
Operation 4-4.
I mean,
I love that.
Yeah.
Although you were funny when you said that. It's more of a task rabbit 4-on-4. Tell me I was in the car.
Task rabbit.
It's not quite an operation. It's more of a task rabbit.
Hey, shout out to my task rabbit
Pretty funny.
yesterday for building our bed frame from
Good
IKEA.
for you.
Got
Good
it done
for
in
you.
2 hours.
I love it.
Got it done in 2
What
hours.
did that cost you? $1.60? Somewhere in there?
I go under.
And it said $110, but I believe it was probably like $1.75. She just won't say.
And I hope you tipped him out.
Yeah,
too,
I was just going to ask.
Well,
about
Anna
the
that.
does.
same thing.
Yeah, I always tip.
We got the
have to tip.
6-drawer Malm from IKEA. Same thing. By the way, I go to IKEA Palo Alto because they don't have it in Emeryville.
Yeah.
My girl's like, yeah, you need to go to Palo Alto. This is the day I'm going to Eureka for my dad's memorial race.
Oh, my God.
So I drive from where I live in the East Bay down to Palo Alto, get the 6-drawer Malm, drop it off, drive to Eureka. We have a great family dinner. Boom, 4:30. I get the call. Mucus plug is out. Baby's on the way. I drive from Eureka back down. Baby comes, but now we have this Malm, this 6-drawer Malm that needs to be put together. Hello, TaskRabbit. So we bring this guy in, and it was a little bit north of $1.60, but. Thank God for these people who can do IKEA furniture.
I was going to build it. I wanted to build it. I wanted to build it, but Anna was like,
There's something I never said.
She goes,
Thank you.
I
wanted to build it,
It was
Mark.
therapeutic for me.
Woo.
When Anna was pregnant,
good
and
for
I'm
you.
building the cribs and the dresser, it was therapeutic for
What,
me
getting
my whole
yelled at
time.
the whole time?
No, she was out. I was just sitting there. I
Wow.
would do my thing. I'd look at my phone. I'd do my thing. It was therapeutic for me. But she goes, the last bed frame,
all
screws
wiggly.
are all loose and they're all wiggly.
I've done those where I'm like, this is
leaning
therapeutic.
tower of bed.
This is so therapeutic until I realized I just put it together backwards,
God.
and then it's not therapeutic anymore.
The right side of the bed's leaning. I'm low. It's like,
I put together a grill
my
recently,
God, dude.
a very cheap grill up the river, and I put the whole thing in backwards.
Exactly.
And I had to go back and undo the whole thing.
Oh,
and you over tighten it. My dad always says, you don't want to fully tighten it until you. Yeah, so I hate building any of those things.
Dude, I'm with you.
So
we got a crib. You have a baby, and it's like you have 17 things you have to put together. And, my girl's supper's like, oh, we need to put the crib together. I said, I said, I've got nothing. So shout out cousin Brian, who's a P1. He lives in Martinez. Her cousin, now he's my cousin.
Yeah.
Cousin Brian comes in out of the pen, dude.
Oh, on your favorites?
You want to talk about a bullpen performance like Madison Bumgarner?
Listen.
Cousin Brian comes in with tools, screws, widgets, wrenches.
Ladies.
And my guy, dude. My
Allen
guy,
wrench
cousin
set.
Brian.
Ladies, two in the clutch.
Ladies,
clutch.
you are beautiful.
5 1/3.
Ladies, you are prettier than men, but there ain't nothing sexier than a dude with a tool belt who's going to show up to do something that I don't have to do.
Cousin
That's
Brian,
about as good as it
dude.
gets.
Brian.
Cousin
That's as
Brian
good as
out
it
of the
gets.
pen. I went to the righty.
Brian.
Dude, I walked out. She walked to supper, walked out to the mound. She's like, give me the ball, dude. We're going to Cousin Brian. We're going to the righty. I was like, thank God. I can't get anyone out.
Oh, my
And
God.
the worst part is, you get so rattled when the lady's like, there, you're not doing it right. I'm just going to call. No, I got it. And then you realize an hour later, it's like, yo, can you call that dude?
Dude, I didn't even open
You
the
don't
box.
got it.
Yeah,
you don't got it. You
I called
never
cousin
got
Brian.
it.
I'm like, what's it going to cost you? 3 IPAs? Done, dude. Done. I got you.
The worst is when you do something and it's kind of faulty.
God.
And it continues to be a point of contention. So, for example, we got the Nest Ring doorbell thingy.
Okay.
Right? And so I tried to install it myself. And every time someone pushes the Ring doorbell thing, the whole thing pops out of the stucco. And every single time she goes, who is going to come over and fix this? And I'm like, the homie Rocco's going to fix it. And every time Rocco comes over, I feel too guilty to ask him to fix this stupid thing that's super easy. And I don't know how to fix it. And it drives me
And
nuts.
you call Rocco to like, hey, let's hang out.
Exactly.
When deep down, you're like, hey, Rocco,
Bring
I
the
got like
Makita.
3 things. You need
Yeah.
to
Bring the
fix.
Makita. Bring your overalls.
You get to the end of building something, and you're like, it's not quite right, but it's kind of
good
close
enough.
enough. And you look down at that damn bag, and there's
enough.
those 3 parts where you're like,
At least.
where the hell were those?
Right.
Where were those supposed to go?
Every time.
And you just conveniently tuck
man.
those away.
Honest
We're
to
gonna,
God, remember I posted that picture of me building the IKEA dining room table? And it took like 5 hours. And people were like, dude, that took me 2 hours. I'm so surprised it's still sturdy. Honestly, I thought for sure Christmas dinner was going to fall apart.
I will give you one story. The one time that it was actually helpful to not be handy, but put something together.
Yeah.
I bought an extra year out of my daughter believing in Santa because she came in and she was.
we all believe in Santa.
She was the
but-
quick. Yes,
Spoiler
Anyway,
alert.
and it's 9:05. They're in school, but anyway, she comes in one day and she looks at everything that's going on after Christmas and she looks at me and she goes, "I think you do it." And I looked at her and I would. This is how I don't lie. I never want to lie to the kids.
Yeah.
You think that I put that together? You think that I am able to do that? And she looked at the thing and she got confused and she went,
Yeah. It measures up.
all right. And then she nodded her head and walked out of the room and we got another year.
Yeah.
Nice.
St. Nick came again the next year solely because she knows there's no way in hell Dad built that.
I love that.
I've watched Dad try to put together anything. Answer's no.
And by the way, if Santa was putting together everything that Santa puts together across the
Thank
globe,
you.
Christmas would be in February.
And the sleigh would be humongous.
But, I mean,
gotta
come
help.
on. We just found out what a Makita was last year.
I knew what a Makita
I remember that
was.
show.
no,
I remember that
that's
show.
all right, so-
I remember that show.
We put together some furniture up at the cabin, right? My wife invites her family over, and they're sleeping in the other room. In the middle of the night, I hear this yell, and I'm thinking, wonder what happened here in the neighborhood. I'm thinking, didn't think much of it. The next morning, we go into the front room. I look into the side bedroom, and the bed is like collapsed. And I go, hey, Mel, what happened? She's like, I don't know. The bed fell apart in the middle of the night, and they were both sleeping like in the
man.
Just roll on top of
I
each
had
other.
put together the Wayfair bed improperly, and I guess I didn't put the middle beam part that holds the whole bed up.
okay.
And I felt so bad And then so I tried to fix it. It broke again. The next night they slept over. I apologized a million times over. So my contractor comes up, hey, can you cut a piece of wood and drill it in? And he ended up drilling. This bed's going nowhere.
Nice.
And he fixed it. I'm still ashamed to this day. Mel and Dan, I'm sorry. The bed collapsed on them multiple times when they came to stay. And I felt horrible. My wife's still giving me grief.
Two words for you: air mattress.
Well,
and that takes care of that.
Well, it's nothing worse than
I
getting
had the air
yelled
mattress
at.
as well. I was sleeping on the air mattress the next night.
There's nothing worse than getting yelled at by the missus for not building something properly. I told you.
Yeah.
And now every time it's like, yo, I could be, no. Tash driving it is. We don't care. I was like, baby, it costs me. I don't care. You're not building anything. But when they yell at you for not building something properly, it's demoralizing.
It is.
It really is. It's like, damn, I'm not good for anything.
Right.
Anything. Why is she even with me?
Can you hang a picture? Can anyone in here hang a picture?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah?
I can do that.
I could change a tire.
Yeah.
Into sheetrock?
No, oh, wait, what? Huh?
Like, yeah, so I'm saying, like, what kind of, like, plaster into sheet? Because I can't hang a picture into plaster, for example.
Yeah, no.
You guys don't even know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I do. Dude,
I will, like, crack
You're
that.
overthinking it.
Useless.
Yeah, you're
Your boy's
overthinking
useless.
it.
I mean, right now we've got two, because we just moved into our house about 2 months ago. We've got 2 mirrors that are yet to be hung.
They're on the floor like
we
mine.
just bought a couple of great posters for the baby's room.
Nice.
And yeah, right now they're propped up against the crib that I didn't build. The changing table I didn't touch. I've got a lot of skills, but handyman is not among them.
Yeah.
So
You think Shanahan's a handyman? You think he knows how to build stuff?
Better be this weekend.
yeah.
By the way, before we get too deep into 49ers, can I just, I want to address the unfortunate cynicism of 2022. I hate where my brain went when Tom Brady announced that they had finalized their divorce this morning.
Could he come to the Niners next
No.
offseason?
My thought immediately
Can I make
went,
a run at Giselle?
when you no. So
I'll raise those kids.
you got
That might be a 5. A dinner 5.
wow.
Happy. Call me Butcher or Daddy. It's up to you.
No, so you got
Giselle, you call me Daddy. Kids, you call me Butcher. That's what it is.
you got
What time softball practice over, kiddo?
I got him.
Pick you up. We got Capri Suns.
Hey, there's good money in that.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You got two massive celebrities, so they're obviously very aware of PR and how to do it. And then immediately my thought was, look, well, it's obvious this has been going on for a really long
Months.
time.
Yes.
You announced it this morning to sort of avoid what the Tom Brady narrative was going to sound like.
Well, he's washed.
Exactly.
Done.
Interesting.
Is he going to retire mid-year? Like, all these thoughts go through your head, and it just felt like the announcement came now so that he could adjust the narrative. And I hate that cynicism about myself.
Well, I think
when someone's announcing a divorce.
You're not wrong, and we talk about Friday news dumps all the time, where it's like, so and so has been cut. It's like, whoa, Friday night at 5 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what we do now. And if Tom Brady would have won last night, would the divorce announcement would have come today?
Probably
not.
probably not.
It might have come Wednesday or Thursday, but in light of the way he played, and he sat in his locker with his pads on, all the reports are, and he had his head in his hands, you're done, bro. Father Time has finally outlasted you. The last Father Time victory that he didn't have, he finally tapped on Tommy's shoulder last night and said, Tom, I win. It's over for you.
Yeah, I see. There's just a lot going on. I always have a hard time whenever there's any of these relationship things out in the public. You don't know what's going on in people's homes. Like, you don't know what they're going through, what their family life is, and all that. And I'm uncomfortable ever trying to diagnose any of these things. We've all had friends, family, or your own relationships, up and down and up and down. I mean, we all can relate to that in some way. I just struggle with correlating what's going on at work is what's going on at home and back. It's, to me, the whole thing's out of bounds. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. I'm not saying that's what you guys are doing. No, I'm not saying that's what you're doing.
My other takeaway from this was also, take a look at the NFC South now. Somebody's going to win that division.
It's
Carolina.
awful.
Somebody's going to win
Andy
that division.
Dalton is starting this weekend for the New Orleans Saints.
After watching that football game last night, I want this to be very clear, and I think,
the Niners are still alive?
Forget alive. There is zero excuse to not make the playoffs.
I know.
There's none. That's the Bucks. That's the Bucs, and watch the Packers get torched in Buffalo this week. They're going to be 3-5 also.
And we'll still believe that they can win a playoff
There's
game.
no excuse.
I know.
How are we here?
You got the Bucs in the playoffs. I mean,
They
They might still win the division.
Yeah.
it's going to be Carolina, the Carolina Panthers.
Are you
That's not going to be Carolina.
No, I'm
Watch
telling you.
Atlanta wins the division, and all of a sudden we're going to say, you know what? That's not a bad loss after all. That was a playoff team.
Yeah. Might get a chance to go to Atlanta again.
Right.
Who
There you
knows?
Well, actually, I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
That stadium looks sweet.
There's some other teams that are sweet down there too.
There's Atlanta.
And sour.
If they can win and we get 2 weeks of like, all right, they're back to 500.
Well, I mean, they're gonna
the reinforcements are coming.
Operation
It would be a
4-4.
therapeutic victory.
They're going
on top of that.
to
Come
feel
on,
like
baby.
they're going to feel like they got everything by the
Exactly.
you know what's if they win this weekend.
And all of a
they're-
sudden, the Tampa game at Levi's looks very winnable.
the second
Sick.
half of the season, and they do now. This
They
was
get the Saints.
this was a metric. Now
Yeah.
they've got
This
the
is why Mark
Dolphins.
hates the schedule game.
they have got the fourth easiest schedule of all NFL teams the rest of the way. Which is, yes, it's precisely why I hate the preseason schedule game, because you have no idea who you're actually playing. They got the Chargers. We thought that was going to be terribly difficult.
Yeah.
That looks so winnable now. Tampa, oh no, Tom's coming to town. They look awful. They look absolutely awful. Washington is coming to town. New Orleans is coming to town. I mean, their road trips are all close by, Seattle, Las Vegas. There's no excuse for this roster to not be in the playoffs at the end of the year. There's none.
I hope.
There's none.
I want to go back to the playoffs again and again.
You got
and
to say
again.
it the way you're supposed to say
Well,
it.
here's the thing.
I'm going to go back to the playoffs.
How is that not on the T-shirt?
And that's one of the great drops from Early Butcher.
Yes, that was
Early
actually
Butcher.
me.
Should've been
That
a
was me
t-shirt.
almost in
Should've.
tears after
Well,
Jimmy
you
tore
guys
his
got to put
ACL.
those out there on the shop, 957thegameshop.com. You put those out there, and then the T-shirts get made.
We got to go through Denny Fry, and we got to get.
Hey.
Denny Fry,
What's
shout
with
out
the
Denny
still
Fry.
winning, by the way? Is that
Stunnerman. Stunnerman, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
We're
okay.
still winning. Well, I see the purple, and I think
Yeah.
SF State, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they. I mean,
Yeah, I don't
Gators. I mean,
haven't won much.
I mean, geez,
Hey,
I spent
still
my time there,
dismantling.
but yeah.
Hey, listen.
Seriously.
Top 6 on Sports Center one night when what was his name? Damn, he's in jail now. He played at Sarah High School. Hit a half-court shot. Hit a half-court shot
That's
to beat the number 4
in jail
team
now.
in NAIA. We celebrated in the control room. Made Sports Center top 6 the same night the Warriors had beat the Spurs when they won 67 games that season and won the championship. Oh man, it was not Dior Lawhorn. I'm not going to do that to him. It's not
we'll
He's
him.
a
have to
Reardon.
Google
That was
it.
a Reardon
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, he's a Reardon
he's a
guy in
Reardon kid.
Berkeley. He was a guy
I
from
got mad love for the SF State days because I was doing play-by-play for the baseball team,
nice.
and at the time I was big time into wiffle ball, so I would go out and we would have wiffle ball games before the SF State baseball
That's how you
games.
tear a UCL.
Dude, I can't even throw the ball
Yeah.
now. But I told the crew, the staff, I'm like, none of you can hit me.
Oh.
So we would go out there, and I'm in my slacks,
Yeah.
in my button-up shirt. I kept the tie off, and I'm out there throwing, sweating, and then hey, Stanislaus is in town. Hey, big game here. 12 people in the crowd. Boys running material.
Dude, it was,
So
I know.
funny.
And we used to
SF
call SF State the Swamp, and their buzzer was like an alarm clock. We're like, what the hell is that?
Shout out
the quarter's over.
Valsikovic.
Yeah, Valsikovic.
The
That's my
great
guy.
Valsikovic,
Mike
yeah.
Mitchell up there still teaching the play-by-play class.
took
They're
care
still
of all
up
of
there.
us, yeah.
Marty Gonzalez. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Becca. Shout out Becca.
A lot of Gators out there.
A lot of
bud.
Gators.
Lavaroni, no. Steve Lavin.
Lavin was Chapman, I believe.
I thought he went to San Francisco State. Was it Andy Reid?
Andy Reid played on
Andy
the
Reid,
football
I know
team.
that.
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
Lavin went to Chapman
Why did I think he went to
University.
San Francisco State? Maybe I'm.
His dad went to USF. Cap Lavin, rest in
I
peace.
know that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Anyway.
I was wrong.
Steve Lavin, just one quick Lavin story.
Best hair ever.
He tried to hijack my gig earlier in this year. We did the 40th anniversary Drake High State Championship reunion banquet.
Okay.
I'm hosting it.
Oh.
And your boys out there, I'm not saying it was a perfect game. I made a couple small mistakes, but I'm having a great game. Coach Pete Hayward, 87 years old. We're honoring him.
Mm-hmm.
The banquet's about to end. Lavin bursts up from the back and says, Danny, and that's what they all call me from back in the day, Danny, we need to do a Q&A with Coach Hayward. And I look at him and I go, Steve, Coach is 87. He doesn't want to sit here and do a Q&A.
Oh, no.
Lavin insists. grabs the mic,
Peacocking
and he's
it.
like, anybody who has a question for Coach, come on up. Crickets. After like 35 seconds, 40 seconds, I look at Lav and I go, dude, this is not your gig. It's my gig. Give me the mic, bro. I wrestle the microphone back. Thanks for coming, everybody. Say hi to, tip your waitress. I'll see you next year. Lavin, bro.
Let me tell you, when you get 87, I know how my grandfather works. When is food being served?
Right.
Okay, it's been served. Where's the dessert? Okay. Can I have my coffee? Good. I'd like to go home.
Yep,
That is literally
Like,
how
go
it
home
works.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, he'll look at me from across the party, and it's my get out of jail free, and he'll be like,
They know.
pointing at the
They
clock,
know.
and I'm like, yeah, I know, the cake's coming, and he'll literally we're at a 5-year or a 2-year-old birthday party, and he's like, the cake, is it coming out? Like, where is it? I got Matlock later.
It's so
I
great.
got Matlock
And that's
later.
why I have
Why
mad
you doing that
respect
to
for your
Papa?
grandpa for doing
Why you
Niner
doing
games
that?
with
Yes.
you.
Yes.
I mean, because it's not as easy as, hey, we'll drive you right up to the gate.
100%.
And here you go, Grandpa. It's like,
100%.
Grandpa, it's going to be an hour in. It's
Yeah.
going to be a mile walk across the lot and the whole deal.
His grandpa was there all day when we had the Monday
my
night game.
God.
Remember we were all at the Hilton?
It was
Monday
a
night
9-hour
Seahawks game. They went to overtime. Papa Shasky
Papa.
hung out all night long. What time we get home
4
that night?
margaritas that day for him. I couldn't believe he
Damn.
lasted.
Good for him.
I
Oh,
didn't
that's
get him
a good
home
day.
till 12:30 at night.
yeah.
I picked him up at 12:30 in the afternoon, and I drove this guy home afterwards. It was one of the longest days of all time. Of all
was a
time.
long day.
I'm shocked he didn't fall asleep.
Great Periscope
But
session, though.
he played
I love
solitaire
that
in the car the whole way.
That Periscope was great.
Periscope, rest in
The
peace.
Periscope was great.
Periscope,
Papa Shasky.
oh my gosh.
But Grandpa Shasky just
Periscope.
out of nowhere. I've seen a lot of wins.
Oh, dude.
Seen a lot of losses.
Dude.
It was like a 10-second pause. That was a brutal loss.
Periscope, buried right next to MySpace. Man, rest
man.
in peace.
Yeah.
Hey, before you guys go for the weekend here, you've probably already seen it on social, but if not, does anybody know what was 10 years ago today?
No.
You don't have it?
No.
You don't have it?
We've been locked in, making fun of each
It's
other.
got to be a Giants deal.
10 years ago today.
What?
10 years ago today. Sergio Romo freezes Miggy Cabrera.
Wow. I
Love
remember
it.
that.
10 years ago today.
Yeah.
Well, man, I
You
don't
know
give a
who
damn
scored-
about
you
the
know-
Giants right now. Why don't you come
I asked
on?
you earlier, you want to get a little baseball in? You're
We
like,
did get some
"Eh."
baseball in. We talked Dusty. We talked Aaron Judge.
Who was
That's
the
That's your
would've been-
wheelhouse.
that
Who was
should've been
the
it, you're
white
right.
middle infielder that
Throwing you under the
scored in
bus.
extra innings?
Terrio.
Ryan
Terrio.
Terrio. Wow.
Yeah. Ryan
Why is he got to
Terrio.
be a white middle infielder?
Because it's not DeRosa.
That's all
DeRosa
they've
broke
had,
his wrist in
basically.
2010.
Well, 'cause
I mean-
he was white. I mean, what are you going to do?
Most part, we've had white middle infielders.
Stella Crawford.
Robbie Thompson,
We go
baby.
back to
Come
Mike
on,
Benjamin.
let's
Come
go.
on, man.
Mike Benjamin.
He had a great
Played
series at
all
Wrigley
8
Field.
positions in a
Really
game.
good. Remember that?
Caught a batting practice home run
There
off
you
Mike
go.
Benjamin's
Really?
bat
Little
once upon
Billy
a time.
Miller. Come on, man.
He was on the corner, but I'll allow it.
That's
I know,
true.
third
That's
base.
true.
I
He
know,
was.
I tried to sneak it in.
We'll switch.
Third
We'll
base. I
switch.
know. Little Billy
allow
Miller on
it.
the hot corner.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Dude.
Hey,
Ryan Terrio.
It's the Morty Bell in on the Friday.
I'm
It's
gonna
big
bet
I
days.
can
We
tell.
gotta
Look at the
roll.
jackets are on. We got
We're
like.
down to we're scraping the bottom.
We're
Come on,
getting
get
there.
out of here.
I
Get
mean,
out of here. We
you
got
know,
you.
Had a double
Yeah.
header last night. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Miami Heat, Morty Rose. Let's
Plus,
go.
all the Starbucks were closed everywhere I went this morning.
Why?
You know where all the 4 a.m. Starbucks are.
Yeah.
Dibs, you
Of
know
course,
this move.
yeah, years.
I drove to my 2 go-tos, then went to a third one, and I said, screw it, I'm super late. And I've been getting Matt's and coffee. It ruined my whole morning this morning because I had
You
to
haven't
get
had
my
any coffee?
No, we got the coffee,
Okay, I
but it
was gonna
wasn't on
say.
the normal
Good
time.
Lord.
I'm X amount of cups deep by the time I'm ready to roll.
You're almost your great grandpa.
Exactly.
Is what you are.
Cups deep by 6
You're
a.m.
getting
Where's the
there
cake?
quicker than you think. Where's the coffee?
You guys have a
All right,
great
get
weekend.
out of
Great
here.
show.
Get out of here.
This is insane, Bonte.